everybody. Welcome to Brick by Brick. I'm your host, Brad Critchfield, and we're live. So thanks for tuning in. Today I have a very special guest, my good friend, John Byun. Did I say it right?
Yes.
Awesome. John is a good friend of mine, and he is the owner of Kidz Town Indoor Playground. John, you're not nervous.
I am dead nervous.
I really appreciate you coming in.
No problem at all.
I
It's my pleasure.
And I know it's been a really tough few months for you, for your family, and for you to make time to come in and talk right now. It means a lot to me, and I know we're getting close to Wednesday, and I think that's the day you're anticipating opening up, right?
That's correct.
So tell me about that. Are you excited?
Yes, I am. I am really excited and at the same time scared, and anxious. Basically, I don't know what's gonna happen on Wednesday or after that. Um, so we just have to take one step at a time and see how it goes.
What are you nervous about?
Um, well, one is, are people ready to come out? Are people wanting to come out? Um, and things like that. Number two is gonna be if the parents' reaction on what we're doing, what we're enforcing. Are we gonna get so many complaints about things, about this and that? Um, our customers have to understand that um, I stand on a parent's point of view as well. But then at the
Because
same
you're a
time,
parent.
I am a parent,
Right.
so I do stand on a parent's point of view. However, there's some things that I have to enforce because of insurance, because of laws, because of regulations. It's just they some customers just have to understand that there's just some things that can't be helped. I can't make everyone happy.
Right. And that's actually one thing that I really appreciate about you and how you run Kidz Town is that you don't bend the knee to like every complaint. Like there's certain rules that you really believe, and it would be so much easier for you to like change every time there's a complaint, but you really hold your ground, and I really appreciate that. Uh, Especially because being a parent of somebody, a child with special needs, who has like mobility issues, you're very strict on like the height requirement, which is there to not punish kids who are
Hmm.
older, but to protect the younger kids that are there to have fun and
Hmm.
to ease other parents' concerns, right?
Yeah. So basically, this whole thing started when I have I have two twins, a
Mm-hmm.
boy and a girl. So this whole thing started when my kids were born. My kids were born at 27 weeks, so very premature. At a very young age, doctors recommended me to take them outside, jungle gyms or playgrounds, get exercise and things like that. Now my house is way too small for them to get as much exercise. Um, we just took them to a lot of different places, and they just kept getting ran over by bigger kids,
Yeah.
and I just got fed up with it. So I started looking into details, doing research. 2 years after doing research, um, I decided I was ready to open my own in the playground, and that's where I set the rule about the height restrictions.
And your kids are there pretty often, right?
Um, I I tried to bring them,
Yeah.
but I
Well,
mean,
not as much, right? They got to get a little bit
yeah,
tired of
not
it
not as
right,
much.
eventually.
The thing is that they still enjoy it, but I guess they have that thing where oh, it's my dad's place,
Hmm.
so I'm gonna climb everywhere I want to.
Right.
But I punish them strictly. Like, it
Right.
doesn't matter if I'm the owner. I mean,
They still got to follow the
you follow
rules.
the rules of everyone else.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, it's um, it's something that you just gotta teach your kids. I mean, there's rules and laws out there that doesn't matter who you are, doesn't matter if you're the president or if you're the mayor or someone. You have to follow those rules.
Right, because the rules are there for
Yeah,
to
for a reason.
protection of
Yeah.
other people. Um, so okay, the past 3 months, how has it been, man? Tell me what's been going on.
Uh, Past 3 months, endless research, endless Google, endless phone calls to city, county, California, um, and the U.S. government. Endless calls, endless emails, endless research, trying to find out what's going on. What do I need to do? Any help out there? Financially, Kidz Town has been like rock bottom. It's like I'm like I've been calling the Southern California Electric Company, Lakewood Water Company, trying to see, hey, please help me out. We're like rock bottom. I mean, I have like nothing.
Right.
Um, Now some people might think, how can Kidz Town have nothing? But people have to understand that money didn't just appear in my bank account out of nowhere.
Right.
I had to borrow money to open Kidz Town, and the past 3 months I still had to pay rent, although I haven't paid rent.
Right.
And then electric companies, it's an automatic $700 that I need to pay for electric company. Reason is because I have some lights on that has to be on 24 hours,
Mm-hmm.
no matter what. That's the safety code law or something.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Water bill, even though we haven't used any water, it's still 300. It's like $300, something like that.
Yeah.
Rate charge, and then insurance is
And
still going out.
has your landlord been at least working with you at all, or?
Well, my landlord, I told him, look, back in March, I said, look, I can't pay this much, and that's pretty much it. April, I can't pay at all.
Right.
May, I got some help from the government, so I paid them. But um, I guess landlord didn't really have a choice either. I mean, they can't evict us or say something either.
Right.
So that's pretty much where. Um,
So are you expecting? So now, landlord wise, they're expecting full payment right when you open up, right?
so I gotta call them and find out how we're gonna work this out, um, because the rent there is not cheap either. I mean,
Right.
it's our building's almost 15,000 square feet,
Right.
so it's not cheap either. The rent.
And for those of you that don't know, so Kidz Town is located on Carson and Woodruff. It's where the before that, it was the Smart. I always remembered it as the Smart and Final
Mhm.
building, because that's like when I was in high school.
Yeah.
That's where kids would go to steal booze. But then I think it was something. But you've been there for 3 years,
2 years.
2 years, and it's not a small place, man. So like that, you would assume the overhead would be pretty high.
Mm-hmm.
And what was it, like 3 months of like, have you been closed for 3 months now?
It's the 16th will be so. The day we're opening is actually gonna be the exact 3 months, because we close in March 16,
Mm-hmm.
so it'll be exactly 3 months that we have been closed.
Closed completely.
Yeah.
And you said your biggest fear is people not coming back, right?
People are not coming back, and basically yes. Uh, I don't know if a lot of people may not realize this, but me and my wife, we put a lot of thought into the actions or the things that we do. Like we put like endless thoughts into it.
Yeah.
Even when we're just in the middle at night, just watching TV or something, we just might turn off the TV, start talking again.
So you guys really run the business as a team, you and your wife.
Yeah.
So it really is a family-run business.
I mean, mostly I run it, but the things that, I mean,
But
the wife is always right.
All the good ideas come from the
Yeah,
wife.
basically, yeah. So all my ideas I actually run with my wife mostly, and
Mhm.
ask her what you think about it. Um, I don't want to just start doing something and then my wife say that was the dumbest thing you could have done or something,
Right.
and just
Don't want to get in trouble.
Yeah.
Don't want to get in trouble.
So yeah, me and my wife, we have decided to come up with some rules and things like that.
Moving forward.
Yeah, moving forward.
So, okay. So obviously you're afraid that people aren't going to immediately jump out and do so. I guess one thing that would be a positive is that most people know that COVID like doesn't transmit through children very well, right? And like children aren't at the highest risk,
Mhm.
right? So that's a positive thing, right? So the concern is that parents just stay inside and just don't do that stuff. And I'd say that's a very valid concern. I don't know how people are going to feel. I personally think that people like are so tired of being stuck in their house, and like I know like for my kids specifically, like being basically locked up for 3 months. Like we've gotten some outdoor time, but they're not getting like the socialization. They're not getting a lot of things that are very critical, especially at the ages they're at 3 and 6.
Mm-hmm.
That like there's a reason why like at those ages like you start incorporating them into school and preschool and get them talking to other kids, because that's how they really learn to function in society.
Mm-hmm.
So I would hope that a lot of those parents would take cautious steps forward in making sure that their kids are interacting with other kids, strangers alike, so they can keep building up those skills, right? But obviously there's a concern that it would just take longer. And every day that goes on, especially from this point on, it's like, it's not helping you kind of dig out, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, I mean, different things. As far as rent, I still need to talk to my landlord. And then as far as there's just certain like expenses that just automatic. I just have to put it out there, and there's not much for me to deduct. So, we just have to hope for the best and see how it goes with that.
What are you, so what are some of the things you're going to do moving forward to ease parents' concerns?
So basically, um, again, with so much thought put into this, and not trying to break any laws either. Like I mentioned before, I am a dad. The worst thing is for a dad break the law and then get in trouble with authorities. But after talking with LA County officials, because and not just regular LA County official, talking with straight with supervisors there, and bring up my concern. Basically, we are having we are going to have customers wear masks. It is not
Okay.
required, but it's going to be recommended. Um, I hope we're still trying to decide if adults will be required to wear masks. As far as the kids go, I mean, they're kids. They're gonna run around. They're gonna take it off. They're gonna throw it around.
And there's even some studies that show like when a kid is wearing a mask, they end up touching it so much and moving it around and playing with it that it actually transmits even faster, right?
It may become pointless, basically.
Yeah.
But then things that
But it's more people. I think the biggest thing is like, being in that industry is that parents that want to complain will find something to complain about, right?
yes, of course.
So and those are the ones that complain the loudest, right?
Yeah. So, I mean, reviews is the last thing I'll check.
Yeah.
I just got tired
Yeah.
of trying to respond to every single reviews and trying to explain what the reason why.
Yeah.
Um,
I can see you try to hold back. So sometimes you slip through and you start responding.
I do. The thing is that, I mean, there's always two sides of a story. I mean,
Right.
people just have to realize there's a reason why we do things. It's just like if you go to McDonald's, you can't expect them to sell pizza. There's a reason why they still don't sell pizza, because they're a burger place.
Right.
It may not be the best example, but
Right. But I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
Like,
but yeah. So reviews, I don't even bother checking them anymore.
yeah.
It's,
So sometimes reviews are good, right? Because like if there is something that can be fixed,
mhm.
then it puts your fingers on the pulse as far as like what people are complaining about. But it's pretty easy to decipher what a constructive review is, and then like what is somebody just like being mad because like whatever the rule is or whatever your business didn't suit them. Like you said, to use your example, if somebody walks into a burger place and goes, I was hungry for pizza and they couldn't accommodate me, I'm the customer, it's like, okay, well listen, that's about you, that's not about the business. But if somebody comes in and has a valid complaint, then you want to know, because it's kind of like the old thing of like if somebody has a question in the classroom, odds are you're the one person who raised their hand, but there was 5 other people that had the same question.
Yeah.
So
So the good thing is that I always tell my employees and everyone else, if someone has a specific complaint that they want to reach to me, have them email me. I check my email every single day. I respond back to them. I I see I try to see their point of view on what's going on, what happened.
right.
Um, but if it's something that I can fix, I will fix it. If it's something that is like he said versus she said, then I'm like, what
It's
exactly
how,
took place?
well, that's where cameras really come
Yeah.
in handy, right?
Yes,
Because
it does.
but I mean, like I mean, I've seen it firsthand,
Mhm.
right? But I think you handle it really well. I think that you're not going to make everybody happy, and I think that especially moving forward, like past Wednesday and into this new world, this new normal, um, people are going to be looking for a reason to complain. I guess the good thing is that the people that are looking for a reason to complain probably aren't the people that are going to be coming out anyway,
Mhm.
right? The people that are going to be coming out to Kidz Town are going to be people that are, willing to absorb at least whatever risk is still left out there in order to make sure that their kids are having, a lifestyle that is fun and active, and they're still building those communication skills
Mhm.
too. Um, but but you're excited about opening up, right? Because it's been 3 months.
Yes.
Um, what are some of the other steps you're taking?
Yeah. So, mask is gonna be strongly recommended. Although, now I just want to put it out there that I did speak to the LA County officials about masks with the kids, and their statement was, I completely understand. They're kids. Um, some things just can't be helped. We just move. We just do what we can, and it's not like we're gonna follow them around and then say, put on your mask, or something like that. I mean, no kid wants to run around with masks unless they think they're ninja or something.
Right.
So masks can be strong recommended. Employees will be required to wear masks at all times as well. So one of the good things that when you first walk in, what customers gonna see is 2 new additions. We're gonna have 2 new machines. Um, Basically, it's like a tablet on a stand.
Okay.
It takes uh, temperature of your whole face in different like infrared, and then basically it 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 basically excludes atmospheric temperature,
Okay.
so you don't have to worry about why if it's the temperature is really hot
Right.
and something like, it just basically takes a picture of your face and then reads it.
So it takes your temperature.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now,
And then if somebody's temperature is high, then you just don't let them in, right?
yeah, so basically there's a light that would either turn green or turn red. If it turns red, that means that we will not allow them to come in. If I mean, again, some people might not be happy about getting the temperatures being taken, but um, it's for the safety of everyone. Basically,
Is that for kids too?
that's for kids,
Okay.
toddlers, babies. That's for everyone.
Okay.
This is where thinking on a parent's point of view came in as well. My kids, a lot of kids may not like a laser beam pointed to your forehead.
Right. Right.
For contactless thing. This one is just like you look at a tablet. It looks like they're taking a picture of you. Basically, it looks like the tablet's taking
Right.
a picture of you.
Looks like a selfie.
Yeah, just like a selfie. So basically, kids are gonna be pretty impressed with it too. They're gonna
Yeah.
like it. I mean, um, again, with this weeks of research, I'm trying to find out, is there another way of measuring temperatures that does not include shooting a laser at someone's forehead or something like that.
Right.
So this is the solution that we came up with. It has like a 98%, 97, something like that percent accuracy.
Okay.
So it's basically growing. This company is basically growing like crazy.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah,
There's certain companies that have really
yeah, just
like not missed the boat on this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So fortunately for me, I was able to inquire some information about this company, and from what I believe, from what I was told, is nobody in Los Angeles has bought from their company except for me yet.
Okay.
And this company is based on out of Midwest,
Okay.
so it's unknown out of I guess I was just lucky to stumble across this.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome. But I mean, that also goes to the point of like, you're really, I'm sure there are people that like question whether or not you're going to be able to open up,
Mhm.
right? Like, I mean, I think that's with anybody. I mean, I'm sure people question that about my gym, and they were right. You
Yeah.
know, like, but not only are you opening up, but you're kind of doubling down, right?
Mhm.
Because you're like, even though you've taken like a huge financial hit, you're actually investing even more. So like that technology, that the tablet, I'm
Yeah.
guessing it. I mean, it probably wasn't totally cheap, right?
It's expensive. I mean, you think about
Round to the nearest. Give me a estimate.
it's a little bit over 1,000,
Okay.
but
Yeah.
it comes with accuracy. It comes with comfort. Customers, they don't have to press anything. You just put it just automatically detects when that face is there, and you just put your face inside a box in the picture, and it measures it
So where are you gonna have that at? You're gonna have that at the front desk.
on the counter.
That'll probably slow down the. I mean, it's just one more step, right? Because already you had people fill out liability waiver.
Mhm.
Now, is that something you're going to include in the liability waiver?
The thing is that it's
Or
not
does it-
something that we're going. It's not something that we're going to include in the liability waiver. It's just something that's going to be the first thing you come in is.
No. I mean, like, is that already in the liability waiver? Like, transmission of like if you get something like, because it should be. It really should be, right?
Yeah.
Because I mean, even I think Trump announced he's doing a rally and he's having people fill out a separate liability waiver, just in case.
Mm-hmm.
I think, see, and this is the thing, and I know I have really good friends that are lawyers, and you know but dude, this is like, this is gonna be their season coming up, right?
Mhm.
Like, because complaints are one thing, right? Now, like when a complaint goes to the level of like they feel like they've been harmed, and then all of a sudden you're dealing with this whole separate issue. So the more businesses can cover their butts, and because at a certain point, like, yeah, if there's negligence, there's negligence, but then
Mhm.
there's also small business owners like you that are doing everything you think possible to make sure that people are safe, to make sure that you're not cutting corners, you're investing in people's health and their safety. And guess what? It's going to be, you know, a business owner that does all those things that gets sued.
Mhm.
And the other business that like didn't do anything, they're going to skate by. But it's like it's people that really care. So maybe throwing that into the liability waiver would be a good thing too, because
Yeah.
the way I feel about liability waivers, even with the gym, was that it's not so much that like it's legally gonna hold up in like, you know, but it's like people are acknowledging, like they remember, like, oh, I signed. So like maybe like their complaint stays more constructive rather than like, no, I'm gonna build this out to a big thing because there's a chance I can get money at it. Like,
Mhm.
you know, it's scary that you even have to think about stuff like that.
Yeah. I mean, these days you can pretty much get sued for anything.
Anything, dude. And I swear, man, I feel like, you know, like lawyers are kind of like just kind of standing on the sidelines waiting to be called into the game, because I think a lot of businesses will face
Yeah.
litigation. But it sounds like you're doing everything that you need to
Mhm.
avoid that and make sure people are safe. What about the party rooms?
So wall climbs, we have 3 wall climb machine or 3 wall climbs.
Uh-huh.
We will be closing that for temporarily for at least I don't know how long.
Yeah. Is it just too hard to clean? Because you'd have to like climb up behind
It's
people,
because kids they have to share harnesses.
right? Yeah.
And the things that I can't buy a harness for every single kid that comes in.
Right.
And the things that we can wash them, yes, but the things that is
So a wipe down doesn't work. Like if you had like one, just like
the
'cause you
things
have, like,
that
what, 3
after
or
so
something?
many wipe downs, we assume that it's gonna start getting wet and it's gonna start getting moist,
Mhm.
and so we decided let's just wait on the wall climb for now and not
Yeah.
open it up.
Makes
Um,
sense.
Again, some parents might not like the fact that we closed down the wall. We won't have it anymore. But
That's
just-
temporary too.
but that's
right?
temporary. If a vaccine comes out, I mean, I'll be glad to open everything up.
Yeah.
We just hope for the best for
So
that
that-
one too.
Does that make you maybe? I mean, obviously, you want to make sure people are able to come out and like, you know, business can still go in the right direction, but like rethink some of the like say future attractions that are maybe a little bit less like problematic, because you always have ideas, dude. You're
Mhm.
always like, hey, I'm going to China to look at this new technology. Maybe I'll incorporate some of it. Like, does that make you kind of think like, what is kind of like a new attraction that's like contactless?
Yeah, I mean,
I mean, that's probably farther down. Or you just want to make sure everything gets back open right now.
yeah. Right now, my main concern is basically, I mean, I can't continue moving forward if I don't catch up on on the financial side, basically.
Right.
Um, I mean, I'm always coming up with different ideas, like you mentioned. It's it's basically like it's like a dream. I mean, oh, this would be nice because we have never seen something like this before. Not just China, like Asia, and any country in Asia. A lot of, not any, but a lot of countries in Asia, their technology is just like a lot of things that we probably never thought of before.
Right.
So
Who's the most technologically advanced country, you think?
uh, yeah, beats me. I
Like, who
have
has
no
the
idea.
best, like, fun, like, playhouse technology? Like, you looking at this stuff.
Playhouse technology. I would say China has one of them.
Uh huh.
It's gonna be probably one of the top ones.
Yeah.
Main reason is because um, every almost like every week they just
Just
try to come up
going.
with, try to come up with different ideas.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, I have companies contacting me, email me, companies that I never heard of before that are located in China. They're they're just like sanitized fog machines or
Okay.
something. Fog machines that basically sanitize the place or something like that.
Really? That's
Um,
interesting.
so I looked into it, and it seems like there's hundreds of companies now making them in China.
So it's like a fog machine that basically just sanitizes.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
but then the things that it's like I have to find out how's that law gonna pass in the U.S. How what are the
Right.
chemicals made out of,
Right.
and things like that. So it's like it's just something. Best thing for me to do is if something's on the market for at least a year, that
Right.
probably means that it's past several
Yeah.
different stages of being worried. I mean, Korea also has one of the best technologists
Yeah.
as well. Um, it's it's just something that you have to travel. I mean, U.S. has some as well,
Yeah.
but it seems that U.S. gets a lot of the ideas from other countries before it actually instead of making their own.
Yeah.
So um, there's a convention that I attend every year, and usually what I the pattern that I see is a lot of the new things are brought in from other countries,
Yeah.
and then the next year I go, now all the U.S. based companies now have them.
Right.
So that's the kind of like a little bit of pattern I see.
Yeah. I think there's also an element of like things maybe work a little bit slower here sometimes because there is so much red tape and regulation
Yeah.
on businesses and like
Mhm.
manufacturing specifically. So even if you have an idea in order to like open up the warehouse, start producing, start doing like other countries, I mean, for better or worse, I'm not taking a stance on it, but like we tend to move a little bit slower on
Mhm.
that stuff. But basically right now your main concern is just getting back to where you were, right?
Mhm.
Like getting people back in to enjoy the facility right now under these new rules and guidelines,
Mhm.
right? So what is it really going to take for you to get like back up and running to where you were? Like same like obviously, you know, everything staying the same, you just need as many people as possible, right?
Um, One thing that we are also gonna be doing is we're gonna be putting a limit on the number of people that can come in.
What's that going to look like?
We are shooting towards 100. And
100 families or
100
100
people
total.
total.
So if somebody comes in with a parent, so it's 50 kids.
Yeah, so basically 50 kids.
That's not a lot.
Um, so the things that I want parents. I mean, of course, I want to be financially stable as well. Financial, back on my feet. However, I wouldn't want to take my kids anywhere where it's gonna be so crowded that I'm gonna be worried everywhere the whole time I'm there.
Yeah.
Um, Parents, I mean, all the benches that we're gonna have in there in the kids town, we're gonna separate them a little bit more.
Yeah.
Um, Kids, hopefully, parents will separate themselves as well. unless they're came together or they're friends or something. They will have masks on. As far as kids, it's just something that they're gonna they're gonna want to make friends. They're gonna want to play with them.
Yeah, that's kind of the whole
Yeah,
point too, right?
but so we're gonna be limiting the number of people coming in. Um, we're gonna have a counter, and whenever one leaves, the counter goes down. Whenever one comes in, the counter goes up,
Mm-hmm.
and we're just gonna follow that through right now. The thing is that a lot of these decisions I have to come up with on my own, with my wife. Um,
Because you don't get a lot of guidance from
I
the county.
I don't get I don't get any guidance from the county.
Yeah.
Indoor playgrounds industry, I guess, is not as big as people think, and so we just have to follow under some guides that
But that's
we
what
think.
makes them important too, because I mean there's really not that many,
Mhm.
right? And it's so easy to do it wrong. Like we've gotten to know each other. I feel like I know you pretty well, and you really give a shit about the kids and the families,
Oh yeah.
which I'm sure there's a lot of people that go like, when they start a business, they think like, oh, here's a market that we could totally like, make a killing in, and they just open up a business and try to like basically exploit the experience to make as much profit as possible. But that's really not what you're doing. You started it because of your own kids and your own experience, and you felt that there was a need for something like this, and you created it, and you're doing it, and you put your heart into it, and you really do make the extra effort to make sure people are safe.
Mhm.
And I mean, it's important, and it's one of those things where people only recognize how valuable it is when it's not there anymore, right? So it's like my dad was saying, my dad's a barber, he owns a barber shop, and he was like, oh, all of a sudden everybody gives a shit about barbers. He's like,
Oh yeah.
nobody cared about barbers. Like, oh, who cares? I'll
On
just
to
go to
the
it.
sit,
I'll go to
yeah.
another one. I'll go. And like my dad, he was just like, he's like, it's funny. He's like, I get more phone calls from friends and like people that need to. But I think it's the same thing. Like I'm thinking like, man, what can I do with my kids? They've been in the house for a month now. They just need to get out. They need to be social. And you think of like, oh, that's why those places are important.
Mhm.
So I really hope that the demand. I think the demand is there, and I think that you're doing everything you need to do to make it safe for families. It's just a matter of them knowing that,
Mhm.
because they don't know.
Mhm.
And again, that's why I wanted to have you on the podcast,
Yeah.
because they don't know what they don't know.
Mhm.
So they might just think like, oh, it's indoor playground. No, I'm going to stay away from that. But if they know like that your eyes are on it, and that you're taking care of it, and your attention is there, then they'll feel more comfortable and more confident and more secure in, at least going in, giving it a shot, and start urging people to get back to
Mhm.
some type of normalcy.
Yeah. So like continuing on that topic, um, you mentioned parties. We will
Yeah.
not be accepting any parties at all at this time.
Cool.
Um, kids running around inside the playground is something that we can't help, but having 30 people in one room or something is in a smaller room is not something that I want to recommend as much either. So
Yeah.
it's just something that we're gonna close off for the time being, until we feel comfortable, until we feel like parents are comfortable with having parties.
Yeah.
I mean, I hate to do this. It's gonna be just empty rooms, so
Right.
it's not. I'm not too happy about it, but
You should do a group workout area. I'm just kidding. That's a whole
um,
nother headache.
yeah.
Trust me.
I mean, I've had ideas like that. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I'll turn a room to a Lego room or something. I don't know.
Oh, that'd be sweet.
I know.
Or a video game room.
But
Dude, video game room.
but
I'll be in there playing the whole time.
yeah. I gotta see what happens in the future, and see how it goes. I mentioned to you earlier about before we started going live about the ball pits. Um, a lot of customers are not aware of how we clean our balls inside the plastic balls. We have a big machine that basically sucks up balls each one by one,
Mm-hmm.
all the plastic balls one by one. It gets washed, it gets brushed, and it passes through a UV light to kill even more bacteria or germs that's in on there, and it comes out into a bag. We dry the bag up, all the balls, and then we store them up. That's how we clean all the plastic balls. This is for everyone who's not aware of how we clean the plastic balls
Uh-huh.
in the ball pits. But the process of cleaning those, it's hours and hours basically.
Yeah.
So in order to accommodate parents who are worried about their kids going inside the ball pits and then getting germs or with the coronavirus going on, we'll be cutting down on all the ball pits to like maybe half or even more. Um, Kids will not be able to jump into the ball pit anymore. We're gonna be blocking that off as well.
Yeah.
Um, is this so that it'll be much quicker, easier for our employees to clean them every single night. So this is something that we're gonna enforce to our employees
It makes sense.
to clean them every single night.
And you guys already, man, like when we go and I take the girls, you already have people cleaning all day long. So it's
Mhm.
almost kind of crazy to think like you're going to be able to do even more cleaning because like you basically would have staff there and their job is basically to keep an eye on stuff and just clean the whole
Yeah.
time.
So for us, as far I mean, I've been during my 2 years of research before I opened Kidz Town, I've been to so many playgrounds, not just in California, in Nevada, Arizona, Texas as well. I've been to a lot of different playgrounds. I can strongly say that we employ more employees than any other playgrounds that I have seen that I have been to. Um, and the main reason is because I mean, you go to an indoor playground, you have one person in the front and one person in the snack. That's pretty much it. Um, and it's you basically have nobody walking around. But we do this so that not only we keep an eye on the kids, but at the same time we have them all the employees keep wiping things down. And this is something that I will strongly enforce on my employees even more after we open on Wednesday.
And how many of your employees? So you got the PPP, right? Which was really difficult because you got it just in time to not be open to where you couldn't really use it. So there has been some progress there, right? Because now you can open back up. You can reemploy these oftentimes younger,
Mm-hmm.
students and younger. I don't want to say kids, but younger adults.
Mm-hmm.
So now you can start opening up. Now, what capacity do you think? Are you hiring everybody back? Are you going to go to like 50%? What's going on?
So so me and our manager Lorena,
Mm-hmm. Shout out to Lorena.
um, I had Lorena take a look at the schedule.
Mm-hmm.
And we the thing is that when we have a chat room with all the employees. I mean, it's not there for just to have fun. I mean, they can have fun if they want. But um, we asked how many people are still interested in coming back, how many people are coming back. We would like to know, and I think we already had about 3 or 4 people who decided they didn't want to come back to work anymore. However, they did decide that they will come back in a month or something like that. And but at this time, it's summertime. Like thankfully, summertime. A lot of the younger adults who are in college or something, they're out of school as well, so they're looking to pick up more shifts.
Right.
So we are not currently hiring at this point. We just gave more shifts, more hours to all the employees who are willing to work more at this time.
Nice.
Now, when it comes to fall, when everyone goes back to school, we'll see how it goes with that schedule. I mean, the thing is that because we employ so many, I mean, you try to make a schedule with 20 some people.
Yeah.
It's not as easy as it looks.
Yeah.
I mean,
You know what? One of the hardest things for me to do is like keep my ideas to myself because I always have so many freaking ideas.
Mm.
Have you thought about like doing like a little daycare inside of Kidz Town?
I I did think about
That seems like such a good
I
idea.
did think about that a little bit. The thing is that as far
You have to get like
as
permitted,
yeah, as
completely
far as I
different.
know or I'm concerned, daycares,
You could probably even get some like subsidy from the county
yeah,
because they're gonna need them more and more because people are working differently.
hmm because as far as like our permit goes, I believe that daycares requires different kind of permit.
Yeah,
Is separate from what we are,
yeah.
and
Oh, for
um,
sure,
but is the thing is that I don't want to put too much on my plate. Then
for sure.
yeah,
And
then
that's
I
what
can
I
take
do,
in.
dude. I'm always like,
And
yeah,
I mean, other than that, I mean, what parent would not love to spend some time, go to a movie night out or something like that,
right.
and then
Because
have someone else watch the kids.
they have like these little play areas at the theater right
Hmm.
here in Cerritos, and I could never take I could never get myself to like take my kid. I mean, it would make sense like from a
Hmm.
babysitting perspective, but like you just don't know the people and
Yeah.
stuff. But I just feel like when things change and things have changed a lot, like how you adapt to them will propel you even faster
Hmm.
forward, or it'll set you back a lot.
Yeah.
And I just feel like this is coming from a guy who ended up closing his business because of it, but that there was more to that. Like I had so many ideas on how to stay open, but it was just like I wanted to take the time to step back and spend more time with the family.
Hmm.
But I mean, I see it in you because you're always thinking of like new ways and new ideas, but you're also very, and this is like where I tend to fall short. Like you're also very, very thoughtful and like very by the book and very like what are
Hmm.
the regulations? What are like you're just very, very by the book, and so am I to a degree, but like I think with a Kidz Town Indoor Playground, you kind of have to be right.
So I have, for me, there are some plus and minuses for me. I try to be, I try to follow the law, the regulations, whatever needs to be done, as strict as possible. One of the reasons because, I mean, I don't plan on closing down soon. I
Right.
want to stay around for for as much as I can.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't want to get in trouble with the law or anybody else. I mean, um, I'm just not that type of person. I mean, I have no speeding tickets at all for like 10 plus years or something like
Yeah.
that. But the thing is that, what you said, I'm also thoughtful, but yes, um, which can be a minus as well because I'll see a kid will come in. I mean, she might be about this much, like past the 54 inches that we allow. She'll have the saddest look on her eyes, and I'll be like, let's just let her in. Gosh,
Yeah.
I can't do that.
Yeah.
And sometimes my employees will just look at me in disbelief and be like, "You tell us to be so strict,
Yeah.
you,
It's hard, dude.
but
It's
then it's like, oh, jeez. I mean, she's looking at me. The kids look at me. I have a soft heart for
yeah.
things like that.
Well, that's what it reminds me of. Like, I remember I was in a not an argument, but I was talking to somebody about like the importance of borders on a country, right?
Hmm.
And I was like, man, I would be the worst border control agent because I would just like be like, oh yeah, sure, borders, I'm for them, right? But I'd be like, okay, just you. Okay, just you. Like it was just like I wouldn't be able to enforce the rules that I know are necessary, but personal exemptions for me, like what one of them, one's not like if you're just a little bit taller, okay, just come on. But it's so much easier to just tell your employees like no across the board.
Yeah. The thing is that if we're really busy in the past days that we're really busy, most of the time I'll just say no because one person will lead to another person, family coming in with a taller daughter,
Right,
and then it just becomes a nightmare to deal with.
right.
But on a very slow day or something like that, I'll just be like, okay, on a very slow day, it's not like this kid's gonna be,
Trampling
yeah,
on.
on other kids purposely
Yeah.
following them around.
Well, you're in a tough spot, man, because parents are so protective, which they should be. That's
Mm-hmm.
the whole job, right?
Yeah.
Um, but some like they don't see past their kids, you know. So it's like, oh, my kid can't go in, so therefore I'm gonna rain hellfire, you
Mm-hmm.
know. So you have to deal with it. I couldn't deal with that.
Yeah. I
Like,
mean, they have to think back when your taller kid was 3 years old. I mean, think about if someone who's taller ran straight to your kid. Um, I mean, I'm not saying all indoor playgrounds are like this, but I mean, I've been to some where you have 16-year-olds running around at full speed
yeah.
inside the playground.
And then you end up getting like, because then parents get mad at other parents for like their kid hitting their
Mm-hmm.
kid, and like, I mean, especially like, so Tori doesn't, she like, you know, she has ataxia and like balance problems, so sometimes she'll like legit like just like accidentally bump into a kid,
Mm-hmm.
and like I still get like, I mean, not necessarily like Kidz Town, but like I'll get like looks from parents, and I'm like, dude, like, they, you don't know what you don't know. You know, you're not gonna tell your kid's whole story every time she bumps into a kid, but it's hard, man.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's difficult. Dealing with parents, period, is difficult. My first job was like a referee as a roller hockey, like in a roller hockey rink, and I didn't even know how to play roller hockey, but I was like 15 years old,
Yeah.
and like it's like my first like summer job, and I had a parent like try to fight me because like I called the penalty on their kid. I don't know if it was a good penalty. I have no idea. I don't even know how to play the game. I just know I was making $15 an hour, and it was a lot of money back then.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember like this parent was like trying to fight me. He had to be held back because he thought his kid was like a star player, and I'm just like, dude, I don't know, man. Like, I'm just calling a penalty. This is a game. But like some
Yeah.
parents, you parents are crazy.
Yeah. I mean, uh, yeah. I mean, yes, we do see some parents that go way past border
Yeah,
of what. I mean, it's just they have to realize kids, if they fall down, they get bumped on or something,
yeah,
and they trip and fall. You have to teach them that they have to get up
yeah,
and just move on with things.
yeah,
If a parent makes a huge or a big deal out of something that could be just forgotten, then their kids are gonna be could probably see that or learn
yeah.
from that as well. Um,
It's
I mean,
tough.
it's like driving down the street. Someone gets in front of you with that blinker. I
Yeah,
mean, you can either just say, "Oh, okay, maybe," or something, or
yeah.
he just got in front of me with that blinker, or you can be all out screaming, "I can't believe this guy just cut in front of me."
I
Without,
never understood road rage. I know some people go nuts,
mm-hmm.
but I've never understood it. Not under like from a conceptual point, I get it, but I just don't care. Like I don't know the person. That could be like a grandma. Like that's just like, I always think of like somebody could have like their wife like going into labor in the back seat, and like am I really mad at them for not using their? I don't know. Like there's obviously a difference, but
Mm-hmm.
anyway, I guess back to the point. Like it's difficult dealing with like a bunch of parents in a small room as it is, but at least so now you're bringing the capacity down to, you said, about 100,
Mm-hmm.
and these are things that are going to change over time, right? So you're going to
Oh yeah.
try it out. I mean, it's that's kind of like the position, right? It's like all you can do is try it out, get feedback, right? And make adjustments as you go, and just
Mm-hmm.
make sure that you're covering your butt and making sure that you're doing what you need to do to make sure that the business survives, and doing so responsibly, ethically, and with safety in mind for the families, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes. Um, again, one step at a time. We'll try it out. Um, if parents have some kind of concerns or they have ideas, they can always email me at kidstownlw at gmail.com. I have straight access to email. I check all the time. It comes straight to my phone. Um, just because I don't reply to some people right away doesn't mean that I'm not reading them.
Right,
I mean, try to deal with 20, 30 emails a day.
right.
Even more. Like, I just woke up this morning with 18 emails, new
Yeah,
emails. And just throughout the day, I just keep getting new emails.
yeah,
Um, it's a lot of emails that I have to deal with. Reply, not just reply, but tend to and stuff like that.
yeah.
And those 18 are not like marketing either. So,
Right.
um, but so I hope people realize understand that just because I didn't reply to them right away, it's not that I'm not reading them.
Yeah.
I am reading them. I'm not.
Well, you have a lot going on because it's not for you. It's not just Kidz Town. You help with your parents' businesses, and that's been a whole ordeal. I know, multiple business, right? 2 restaurants.
Now it's one. We have
Now
to
it's
close
one,
one
but you had
down.
to close one because of all this, right?
Uh-huh.
And you help them out because they're a little bit older, right?
Yeah, my dad is. I should know this.
Yeah, I don't know how old my dad is. Like, I seriously have to ask my brother every year.
My dad, he's gonna be 74 now, 73 now.
Yeah, you're just making that number up. I can tell you don't know. It's cool though. It's
Um,
cool. No one's gonna fact check you.
Yeah, both my parents are getting pretty old.
Yeah.
My parents' way of thinking is so outdated.
Oh, dude, my dad. His technology.
Yeah.
He has an answering machine.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. He doesn't have a cell phone. He doesn't have a credit card. He doesn't have anything, and he owns a business. And I'm like, how the hell? Like, cash based. Oh, like it's just so. So the other day he asked me. So I'm the chairman for the Chamber of Commerce. We do the LCN, the paper, and he's been advertising in the paper for 15 years. Same ad, hasn't changed it. $1 off haircut. Like, he's old school. And he was like, hey, son, my wife hates it that whenever I talk about my dad, I have to use my dad's voice.
Mm-hmm.
Right? But he goes, son, I was thinking about doing some advertising in the on the internet. I was hoping maybe, well, you know how to do that stuff. Maybe you could figure it out. Like, I need a little bit more information than that, Dad.
Yeah.
Like, but it's just funny because I'm like, I mean, you don't even have a credit card. Like there's things that you don't have an email address. Like,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, I get it. So you help them with their businesses, and then but one of them didn't make it through the COVID, but they still have the one.
Yeah.
But you still really help out with that stuff.
So basically, like payments, all the accounts for my parents' restaurant business comes to my email.
Okay.
So
That's why I got all those emails.
not just
man.
payments, orders, like rent, and everything comes to my email basically.
Mm-hmm.
And I have to take a look and see. So basically, like for example, Capital One credit card, we have
Mhm.
like for personal, we have a business credit card, things like that. I mean, I have so many Capital One's folder in my email because like one belongs to me and my family, me and my wife, one for my parents, one for my dad, one for my mom, one for business, things like that. It's like so I have to put in different folders, or else later on I can't find them.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I have to, and my parents' English is not very good, so that's one of the reasons why everything comes to my email, so that I have to make sure that I want to make sure that things are read correctly before.
So your parent, your so it's funny because we were talking about that a little bit before. So you were actually born in Brazil.
Yeah.
So and then where was your dad? Your dad was from Brazil.
Well, my parents were born in Korea.
Okay.
But they just decided that they wanted to immigrate to Brazil. Now I didn't get the full details. I didn't really ask the full details of how they decided Brazil and things like that.
Yeah.
I just know that they decided to immigrate. I know that they didn't have any information, or they didn't know anybody in Brazil.
Yeah.
They just packed up their things and they left.
Isn't that crazy, man? I can't even get myself to like move out of like a 10-mile radius because I'm so like.
It's a big commitment.
But like I think of like my biological father, he left Portugal when he was 4 to come to the U.S. You were born in Brazil and came over. When did you come over?
When I was 9.
When you were 9. Like other generations, they move so much, but I feel like everybody's so stuck where they're at right now. Like the idea of like I have friends that moved to like Arizona or Colorado, and it's like this huge deal, right? Like they, but it's really not. Like it's like it's still the same language, still the same culture, basically. But like other generations, they just like they do it, This puts it in perspective a little bit, right?
Takes a lot of guts. I mean, especially moving from speak Korean to Portuguese, or
Yeah.
and but you have to learn the whole new language yet again,
Yeah.
and then from not from there, and then from my parents, they decided to move to the U.S.
Yeah.
When I was young. So that's another language that they
Right.
have
And
no
it's
idea
and it's
how to
not
speak.
like today you could literally go online, say you're going to move to a different city, you could start going on like their community pages, make friends,
Mm-hmm.
and have all of your friends in the new place
Yeah.
before you even go there. And then you go there, and then you're going out to the movies with friends that you've been talking to for a year.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a totally different experience as far as like moving, like that experience of like culture shock and like just getting dropped in and having to like make it work and
Yeah.
like working hard and like figuring things out. Gone. Totally gone. I don't know. I think it's
At the palm
interesting.
of your hands or your cell
Yeah.
phone.
Everything.
Yeah.
And then you could move somewhere else and never have to talk to anybody there either. Because you could literally just. I've probably talked to, or I don't want to say talk. I've built upon my relationships more with people that live further over the past 3 months, just
Mm-hmm.
because Zoom calls and FaceTime and all, like it's pretty amazing.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty. I think there's some positive things that came out of this whole thing, and I just hope that the negative things that have come out of it, obviously, like there's the medical aspect, right? People, I mean, the people that have died, like that's a whole nother level of terrible.
Yeah.
But like just like the things that are kind of within our control, with like business and how I think we've learned a lot as a society on like what we need during these times, how the government can support in these times, where it really fell short in these times, because I think there was a lot of like the government falling short, like these trillions and trillions of dollars of stimulus
Mm-hmm.
that didn't make it to small businesses, and even the stuff that did make it to small businesses made it too late, right? So like our system uh, wasn't built for this type of response, right? Especially at the federal level. Should have been more at the state level. Would have been faster, more efficient if it was done properly. But I mean, I think the day before I closed the business and sold everything, I got an email saying you're approved for $3,000 of like PPP. I'm like,
Oh.
$3,000 of PPP. I'm closing tomorrow. Like, what?
Yeah. Exactly.
So it's been stressful on that
Mm-hmm.
level, right? But I think the positives are, I think if this ever happens again, which it might, we've learned like where are the real risks, and what businesses and people will need in order to sustain some level of just like survivability,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Because the things that, like you mentioned, like for gyms, not just for gyms, for indoor playgrounds, we are the last place people will go to spend money. Basically, if they need to, I mean, people need food, so markets are gonna be priority. People need clothing on their back, so that's the another necessity for people. But when people need to save money, then gyms, playgrounds, movie theaters, bowling alleys, these are the last. So we get hit the most likely.
Right.
Well, yeah, than any other industry
Right.
out there.
And then we're also we get hit the most, but also we're the last ones to open up.
Mm-hmm.
That's a first. Um, I feel like my phone rings in 10 different places in this house, like whenever it goes off. Um, but we're the last ones to open up, so not only we get hit the most on the on the front end, but even on the back end, you know,
Yeah.
places are still getting hit. And like I said, that's why I think this is a big learning experience. And I think if anything, I think it makes main people supporting your business more important now than ever, because I think it disincentivized a lot of people from getting into the business.
Mm-hmm.
So like, say if God forbid, like you were to close, I don't think another indoor playground is going to pop up in the area anytime soon, because people are like, oh crap, well, if this happens again, I don't want to invest in that type of business. But
Mm-hmm.
you're hanging in there, you're being strong and like making it through. That's why it's really important for people to support.
Yeah. I mean, I have to. I mean, it's my kids depend
Right.
on this. I mean, my wife depends on it. We all depend on it. So
Yeah.
um, I mean, people just you just have to do what you have to do
Yeah.
in order to survive, or but then at the same time, not just survive, but then I
Thrive.
don't want, thrive. I don't want to do anything
Yeah.
that's gonna be like money hungry about things, but then and not care about the parents either.
Right.
So that's the worst scenario right there.
Why I don't think anybody could ever accuse you of being money hungry, right? Because you've went above and beyond and out of your way to make sure that you're doing things responsibly, you're doing things the right way,
Mm-hmm.
and you've been hit, by this just like a lot of people, but
Mm.
more so than a lot of people as well. But uh, you know, you have done. I mean, you're the first person I can go to when like there's a charity or like some other cause, and you're the first person to go, yeah, whatever you need, like I'll support. Like you do a lot for the community, and just because you're not like a ham in front of the camera like I'm like, where's the camera at? Hey everybody, I'm Brad the Brick. Like
Yeah.
you're not like that, but you do a lot more on the back end of supporting things. Like you've held our Victory for Victoria events. You've done a lot, and you do a lot for other schools and other causes I've seen too.
Um, yeah, I'm not the type of person to be publicly announcing things like that or going somewhere and boast about things. Um, at least the way I like to things to be done is, I mean, if you're gonna donate or do something, a good deed, just do it. Don't do it not expecting things back in return.
Right.
Um, just because, let's say, if a friend needed money to be borrowed, I'm gonna borrow it to him, but I'm not gonna expect double or something or an extra something like that. Um, so yes, I mean I do donate to schools, communities, um, like Lakewood Sheriff, um, events, like the Halloween. We did it
Yeah.
twice already. Um, as much as I can. Sometimes I have my wife telling me or something that calm down, John,
Right. Right.
on the donations or something like that. Um, sometimes so not so we don't when we were running on at a regular basis. You can expect us to receive at least one or two emails a week, every single week, asking for donations. It's a lot of donations. If you think about 1 or 2 weeks,
Right.
whether it's a check or gift cards or something, you add them up through a period of like 6 months or something. It's like $1,000,
Yeah.
and
You don't got to say yes to all of them, but
I try to say yes to as much as I can.
But see, that's why I really feel like it's important for the community to support small businesses like yours, because we may not see, even if it's somebody who doesn't have a kid that goes to Kidz Town, the businesses that support local events and the businesses that support charities and nonprofits and different causes in the community, those are the businesses you have to support, because there's other businesses that don't do that and you give them all your money,
Mm-hmm.
and or maybe they take that money and they use it in a different state. They use it like they're a bigger company, national company. But small businesses help your community grow, and it's not just the tax dollars that you pay to the city. It's your involvement in that city is what makes those businesses
Mm-hmm.
important. That's why I loved like being at the sweatshop, because I used that business. Most of what we like, I wasn't balling in the gym
Mm-hmm.
industry. Most of what we made above like our cost went into events and supporting different causes in the city.
Mm-hmm.
That I loved doing that. There's a profit margin, but that wasn't the main focus of that. I made my money for my family elsewhere. The gym was for the community,
Mm-hmm.
and I feel very similar with Kidz Town. Is like that's why I find it important to tell people about Kidz Town. I find it important to tell people to support Kidz Town and businesses like it, because that helps the community in a very, very direct and real way.
Mm-hmm.
Not just in an idea way, but in a real way. Not only is it a good business for the kids in the community, but because of the things that you do and your involvement, it helps everybody, regardless if they come to the business at all.
Mm-hmm.
They feel it in a different way.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I try to help as much as I can. I have one of the things that I see the most is in emails is like we are strong supporters of Kidz Town, or we are strong. We are one of your biggest customer. It just really makes it hard to turn down
Yeah.
when they say something like that. But then the thing is that if I don't respond back, I want everyone to know. Please don't get angry that I didn't donate.
Well, dude, that's one of the reasons why,
Yeah.
like, if you get a bad comment or you or someone gives you shit, it actually makes me mad because, like, you're one of the nicest people in the community, and you're one of the people that like are trying to do the best that you possibly can while making sure that you're thinking of other people, not just the complainer. And it really makes me mad that people have the audacity to come at you like that, and it's just it's not a good thing, you know. Again, I think every review, every complaint, even if it's from a shitty person, you know, because sometimes, you know, they may have complaints too. If there's a grain of truth and something to learn from that complaint, take it, right?
Yeah, of course.
And you know, even if like they don't communicate it in a way that's very respectful, the substantive aspect of what they're saying, take it, and, you know, if there's changes to be made, you make them. But it just sucks that people can be so mean. And I hope that going forward into Wednesday, which is the big reopening, right? That people keep that in mind, and people know that you're a small business owner who improves the community, that is doing everything that they can to both survive for the financial benefit of the business, the people that get a paycheck there, and your family that depends on that income. But also doing the best for the people that come in, that want to enjoy the services, that want to be safe. And you're doing all of those things. So it's important that people know that. So when they go there, they're not coming in with this, like, this, idea that, like, you're just opening, oh, it's Wednesday, I guess we're opening up, same as usual. No, you put a lot of thought into it. And people need to know that. So Wednesday's the reopening, Kidz Town, Carson and Woodruff. Give your contact info one more time. Actually, before you do that, I'm going to play the little spot so people know. I mean, they should know Kidz Town by now, but
my face is all shiny because of the sweat.
I know, dude. I know this is not. I'm sorry.
Oh no, I'm not saying about you. I'm not a very. I'm not a camera person. I'm not a spokesperson. Yeah,
you've done good this whole time.
So
yeah.
If
I told you, it's just the comment. It's fine, right? Wasn't it? We've done like an hour. Like, it's been fine.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna play this. I remember you had told me when I made this video a couple years ago, you were like, "Oh, dude, I don't want to be in front of the camera." So when I watch this video, I think about that. And it's funny because you did fine. All right, let me play it real quick.
Hello, my name is John, and welcome to Kidz Town. Kidz Town is an indoor playground just for kids. Toddler sections is for those kids, babies who are 36 months and younger. It's a hands-on experience which is very important for every little toddler out there for the development and for the growth. So in the middle of our facility, we have a huge ball pit. The ball pit has a projector that is also interactive. We have a race car track where the cars, they're non-motorized. We have 3 separate wall climb sections. They are all supported by True Blue because in Kidz Town, the safety of our kids is the first priority.
This has been the best place ever. Yeah, because there's a giant website that's so fun.
I'm so happy to be part of the Lakewood community. Thank you for having me.
Sweet.
Oh, wow.
So what's your contacts with people if they have questions or they want to get more information about like everything? Where can they go?
Right now, the best way to reach out to me, it's by email.
Okay.
And it's kidztownlw
Okay.
at gmail.com. KIDZTOWNLW at gmail.com.
Say it again.
KIDZTOWN Kidz Town TOWNLW LW for Lakewood. Kidz Town LW at gmail.com. So that is the best way to contact me. On Wednesday when we open, we will start answering phone calls as well. I know some parents might have a lot of questions about masks and stuff like that. So.
And are you going back to regular hours?
Regular hours, 9:30 to 8 o'clock.
9:30.
Yes.
Okay.
So we'll see how it goes with that.
So 9:30 to 8, they come in, they'll get their temperature taken. Masks are strongly recommended.
Mm-hmm.
Ball pit half. You're gonna hold off on the rock wall for a while.
No parties either.
No parties. But come in and so and then the 50 person max, 100 person max.
Yeah. For now we're shooting for 100.
Okay.
The hardest part is when I have to come up with my own guideline with talking with LA County.
Yeah.
Because LA County hasn't really put a guideline for us for our industry yet.
Right.
So all this thought, a lot of the thoughts came from talking with LA County.
Yeah.
So if LA County also suggests that if anybody has any complaints, go ahead and complain to LA County as well.
Okay.
Or if they have any questions, they can ask LA County, and they can answer
and
about a lot of things.
Let's see how fast they respond to their emails.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that was it. That wasn't too hard, right?
Not too hard.
It wasn't too hard at all.
Yeah.
It's a little hot in here, so we'll say 50% of the sweat is from it being hot.
Okay. Sounds good.
So that does it for our podcast today. John, thank you so much for coming. Oh, I have a mask for you. I made these masks. Like, you're such a big part of the Lakewood community.
Oh. Thank you.
You're welcome. Lakewood strong, baby.
All right. Sounds great.
So Wednesday, 9:30, Kidz Town is opening up. Come support. Not only is it good for you to get your kids out of the house, because you might be tired of them, but I bet you they're tired of you too. But get out of the house, have fun, get them around other kids, get them back out into public, and just know, like, John, Kidz Town, the entire staff is going to do everything. They're not cutting any corners. They're doing everything that they need to make sure that your kids are safe. And they're taking those measures very seriously, and they're doing everything that they need to do. So thank you for being a part of the community. Thank you for hanging in there. I know it's been a really tough few months.
Mm-hmm.
And thank you for being able to putting in the work to reopen and making sure that the kids are safe. I know I can't wait to take the girls there too. So thank you, and we'll do this again, and we'll do a follow-up, and we'll see how you're doing.
Well, it's my pleasure having to come here. Thanks for having me.
Dude, my pleasure. We should have done this a long time ago. Next time we'll just come and we'll just play video games. How about that?
Sounds great.
All right, guys, take care. Have a great day, and be kind. See you next time.
Thank you.